a welcoming statement. It's being debated in Afghanistan in media and other forums because it is unprecedented. In the past, from civilians, we had heard similar statements, but from spokesmen of the army, Major General Babur Iftikhar, this is new for us. And we praise them for this statement, and we are sure that the trust building process that has started, this will boost that trust building.
But it will discourage, don't you think, the Taliban, that they would not get into power in Kabul anymore? This is what Pakistan is saying.
In the past few months, Taliban's morale was vastly boosted by what happened, the signing of the agreement with Americans and the diplomatic exposures they got. They thought that they are winning the whole cake. I think this kind of statements will bring them to the reality.
Okay.
The reality is something else. People don't want Taliban to be diminished, to be eliminated, to be wiped out. They don't want that. But nobody in the world wants them to take the whole cake, to return back to Afghanistan as the Islamic Emirate. Nobody wants that. So now, a very close neighbor who has a history of relationship with Taliban, and then within that nation, from the army spokesman, such a statement goes quite a long way in changing Taliban's attitude towards peace.
So do you see any change in Pakistan's policy now towards Afghanistan, that he's sincerely working?
We already see that. At least I'm a special envoy for the past 6-7 months. I'm gradually, increasingly saying a positive attitude coming from Pakistan, both from the civil and military side.
We are close to completing 1 year of Qatar agreement between the Taliban and Americans. Where do you see Afghanistan now standing? I mean, did it benefit from it, or it was just between two warring factions?
Well, Afghanistan and the United States have two agreements, a strategic partnership agreement, and there is the bilateral security agreement. Now, when they went ahead in talking with Taliban, the Afghan government had no objection, because any measure, any step that is in the direction of ending the war in Afghanistan, we supported that. And therefore we did not object to that, but we were not part of it. They finalized it, and on the day of signing, then they came and gave a statement in Afghanistan. Now they could not sign anything with the Afghan government because they already have agreements. Now there is a change in the US that was signed under President Trump, and now it's Joe Biden who has different views in many respects, including this one. So it's their right, it's their decision that they say we would reassess the agreement and declare our position. Now the timeline is a bit longer than expected. It might take months to finalize their assessment. Now, from our point of view, whatever step gets us closer to ending the war, we support it. Whatever steps that exacerbates the war, we do not support it.
But I mean, this agreement, it seems only benefited the Americans because Taliban stopped attacking them. But on the ground, an ordinary Afghan hasn't benefited from this agreement. Do you agree with this?
Yes, that's correct. That's a reality, because in the past 1 year, almost no American has been killed, but thousands and thousands of Afghans, whether they are soldiers or common people, intellectual, the young educated generation, they were hit harder. So we are concerned in that respect, and this is why our priority is to find ways and means to end this war.
Where does the Afghan government and Taliban negotiation stand? Because we are hearing there is a deadlock now. So, I mean, should we expect any results from it, or?
Well, no, the negotiations have restarted. It has restarted. 3-4 days ago. It was for months it was on hold because of the corona and because Taliban leaders were traveling. Although the Taliban was saying that they will come back to the negotiating table, and they came back as they were saying. So it has restarted. Our hope is, and our wish is that they are a bit more consistent, like they were consistent in their talks with the Americans. They had continuous meetings. They were pushing both sides to get quickly to a result. We hope that Taliban follow that attitude. From our side, from the government side, the government negotiating team is always in Doha, and they are consistent. They are available there. And so Taliban should also be consistent to get closer to the end of the war, because ultimately when Taliban are killed, they are Afghans. When the other side killed by Taliban, they are Afghans. So Afghans are victims, and we as Afghans should wish to end this war as the soonest.
So, I mean, are any progress is being made in Qatar, or it's just
It's
initial?
No, it's a bit too early. They have just started meeting each other. They have agreed that the contact groups should continue to meet. And this is actually what I heard, that they're finding ways and means that this time when it is the actual negotiation, it should be consistent. And it should be speeded up.